where you can just, add a zoom to your background, and this makes it all nice and kind of gives it also a professional look when you're trying to like be in a meeting in your room, which I often do. But then people don't know I'm sitting on my bed or am I in, the living room, because they get to see what I have behind me now. So it would be good if you like try it for a next time or something. Just try and see if you can get that on, because there are really nice ones you can just get from, Google.
Okay, so I think we're going to be getting into the time here. Maybe why don't we just get the things moving on? So let's go for it.
Life is what you make it, at least that's what they say. Well, I think I'm gonna make it, fulfill my dreams someday. I feel this fire growing deep inside of me. I'm so inspired knowing that it's my destiny. I breathe like a champion, I dream like a champion. I see I'm a champion, it's meant to be. My will's getting stronger, I can't wait any longer. I'm singing a song that's inside of me, 'cause I'm a believer. I know that I can make it, no matter what they say, 'cause I'm a believer. The future is now, it starts today.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Michael Lee. Michael Lee, floor is yours. You're on mute.
Yes, I am on mute. I must have been stunned into silence by that absolutely beautiful piece. Wow.
Oh, yes, it is.
Especially, Michael, I like the word like I'm singing the song inside of me. And also, my wheels are getting stronger and dreams are getting bigger. So it's such an inspirational words for not just all of us here, but for the whole world, I would say. It's such an inspirational song, soulful, I would say. That's the reason
So
I picked
beautiful.
it.
Such a beautiful way to start a normally very thinking session with some very beautiful music. So thank you for that. Let's dive right in and have a look at, let's see some hands up, right? So remember how we do this. I say, who would like to share? And y'all put all your hands up, the electronic hands, like all 25 people on the call, even Bala and even like Jonathan, just put your hands up. So when I say who'd like to share, what we're going to share is very simple. All right, we want to just talk really briefly. I mean, it's on the screen, it's not a trick, right? So really briefly, what is something you learned from last session? And more importantly, what have you learned about the people you're working with in this cohort? So let me try this again. I say, who'd like to share? And Ashna, Bala, Jonathan, you also put your hands up just to show people how it's done. Ready? Who'd like to share? You're supposed to just do it to show people how it's done, but it looks like we got some people raising their hands. So let's hear from Shastria, who's the first one with hand in the air. Thank you. Go ahead, Shastria.
Hi, everyone.
Hello,
Give me
hello.
1 minute, please.
Hi.
Shastria, what did you learn last week that you want to share?
Yeah, so what was the question again? My apologies. So I have my son today with me, and I am not able to focus 100%. My apologies for that.
No worries. It's fantastic that you put your hand up and you don't even know what you're gonna say, so that's great. What is it? No, it's great, just like enthusiastic. So what did you learn last week that you remembered this week that you wanna highlight?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I didn't think about it. So now I'm thinking about what I should say or how I should answer this question. Yeah, I learned during last week, I asked some questions to, the people for the assignments. And it was interesting to get information that people normally don't give to you. They don't tell all the things always. So it was nice to talk to the colleagues because I did it at my workplace. And yeah, that was it. It was interesting to know them in another way.
And what about the people on this cohort? Did you learn anything about someone in this group? And who would that be that you learned something about?
So I actually learned a little bit on this cohort. No, I didn't learn anything from anyone. I was in contact with Rajiv a little bit. So, but he's not from the cohorts. He is another. I'm not sure if he is part of the cohort. No.
Well, you're right. He was in the previous cohort. Now he's an expert in this one. But
Okay.
what did you learn about Rajiv?
Yeah, so I actually mentioned the issue I had at my workplace in the group session that we had last time, and he was willing to help me. So we scheduled some meetings, and that is it for now. Okay,
great. Thank you for sharing. Let's take one more person, and then we'll get moving on the task for this week. There was a whole bunch of hands up, and everybody put them down again. I guess they didn't want to once they heard the question. There we go. There we go. There we go. Let's get them back up. Fantastic. Mr. Morris, go ahead.
Do you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
The question
yes.
is, what did you learn last week, and what did you learn about your other people on this group? Anybody specifically?
Okay. What I've learned for the last session is that in order to know the problem or which side you could fix is ask questions and ask questions. And if someone is asking a question, don't say, "Oh, it's a bad question." Just listen and then and try to understand why they're asking or what their perspective is.
Great. Never be afraid to ask too many questions. Fantastic. And one person that you learned about last week? Hello?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. What I've learned from anyone is from the mentor. I forgot his name, but it's from the mentor from forestry. He was telling certain things about how the government is or what the guidelines is for protecting our forest. So that's one of the things that I've learned.
Okay, great. Thank you. So now, forget all that because we're going to learn some new stuff. It is this week that last week's behind us, and everything you've learned last week needs to be brought to bear now, but we're going to learn some new stuff. So to warm ourselves up and warm our minds up, we're going to play a bit of a icebreaker game. It is here called the Whisper game, but it is also known by many other names. So here's how it's going to work. We need 5 volunteers who are not me.
Yeah, I think Michael, I'm just coordinating this one, right? So let me just explain the rationale. Okay, so
okay, go ahead.
Rather than actually asking the volunteers for it, let me just go ahead and then pick the first 5. Let's actually put the diversified team here. So very quickly, we are going to be sending 5 of the volunteers. It's randomly chosen, no orders or nothing. So we're going to be sending you to the breakout room. And then Michael is going to be sharing just one sentence when one of the volunteers is coming to the main room. So it is going to be just a sentence that he is going to communicate. It is going to be just a message. And ensure that you're actively listening and then trying to understand what message Michael is trying to convey to you. and he's going to say only once. And after that, we are going to be pulling in the second volunteer into the main room. So the first volunteer who heard the message from Michael, he or she should be passing on to the next volunteer. So again, actually, when you're just passing on the message, please ensure that you're clear and also calm and also go slow. So that way the message is going to be clearly passed on to your kind of successor. So this is how it's going to work. It is going to be a pretty fun game. Let's see how far actually we are able to convey the message in the right way. See, the key here is that when we are working in this kind of team context, actively listening to each other and then helping each other is kind of pretty critical and especially key, right, for your success. So that is what we are going to do in a kind of funny way, I would say. So with that, I'm going to be sending 5 volunteers, the bravest souls. Are you all ready? I'm going to do that one. So now, Andrew, Angela, and Anil Kumar and Elizabeth Hasselbank all are going to be in the room now. Can we make sure that they're all there, not joined? I'm just waiting for them to go out. Okay, Elizabeth gone. Angela is still here. Angela, can you hear us? Or are you gone? I'm still seeing Angela here. Okay, beautiful. So Michael, can you just actually pick one of the volunteer here and then pass on the message? How about Ramatur or maybe like Jessica? Do you want to actually
You go
convey
ahead.
your
You go ahead. You go ahead and pick who you think would be best. I think, and then I will. Well, yeah. Just pick who you like.
Okay, so Jessica, can you hear us?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, beautiful. So Michael is going to pass on the message to you. Just be ready when I'm pulling in the first volunteer. You're going to be passing into the volunteer. Okay.
Okay, Jessica,
Michael,
are
please
you
go
ready?
ahead.
Are you ready? Because I'm only going to say this once. Only once.
Yes.
Can you hear me fine?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you. A wink is as good as a nod to a blind horse. I think she's writing it down, Bella.
Okay, I'm going to be pulling in Andrew now.
It's a little bit of difficult sentence.
Gosh.
Okay,
Should
Andrew is
I
going to be here.
repeat the sentence now, or what should I do now?
Just wait.
Repeat the sentence to the
Let's
next
actually
person.
wait for Andrew. Andrew, are you here? Andrew?
Yes.
Okay, so Jessica, can you pass on the message to Andrew? And then Andrew is going to be passing on the message to Angela. Please go ahead, Jessica.
Something, I don't know what, is as good as something to a blind horse.
Okay, so Andrew, I'm going to be pulling in Angela here. So you're going to be passing it on to Angela, okay?
Okay.
Angela, are you here? Angela, if you are here, please say yes.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, beautiful. So please go ahead. And then can you just share your message to Angela?
All right. Something is as good as a blind horse.
Good as a blind horse. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, you're ready, right? Now I'm going to be pulling in. I'm going to be pulling in. Anil is here. Okay, Anil, are you there? Can you hear us? Anil, can you hear us? Please turn on your mic if you are on mute.
Yes, I was on mute.
Please go. Okay, so can you go ahead and then pass on the message, please?
Yes, Anil.
Yeah.
Something is as good as a blind horse.
Blind horse as a
Yes.
part.
Yes.
Okay, something is as good as a blind horse.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Anil, so Elizabeth is going to be here.
Okay.
Once she is here, you can pass it on to her.
Okay.
Elizabeth, can you hear us? If you're on mute, Elizabeth.
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Go ahead, Anil.
Okay, Elizabeth. Something is as good as a blind horse. Happy?
Yes.
Okay. Something is as good as a blind horse.
Yeah, got it.
Sorry, as blind as a.
No, you can't say multiple times. Okay,
Okay,
just once.
So I'm in.
Okay, yeah, please go ahead. And then the last volunteer is here.
Okay, ga je doorgeven nu?
Yeah.
Something is as good as a blind horse.
Okay. En dan moet ik het doorgeven, hè?
Ja.
Ja, ik denk dat dat de bedoeling is.
Okay. Well, the message is.
What is the message? Yeah.
Language we call this. Oh, okay. The message is something is as good as a white horse.
Okay, that's beautiful. Please give a round of applause for all the brave volunteers here. Okay, so Michael, can you please actually, what is that, share, what is the message you're trying to convey to the team and how actually it transpired?
The original message was a wink is as good as a nod to a blind horse.
Oh.
I haven't
Not
understand.
even close.
That's half of the sentence. That's half of
I
the
can't
sentence.
understand some of the words you pronounce. I can't understand them. The second
I got the
word,
wrong message.
I don't know.
No, but that's actually beauty of this exercise, right? So when we are working with multicultural team and also especially when the world is our backyard now. So we may have to practice more and more active listening. And if you're not clear, ask the question. So it is just a fun exercise. So there is no worries or nothing. But from now onwards, when we are going to be having the conversation, let's see how we can actually not hear the words they are saying, more on that actively listening. So that would be the pretty fun one. I think actually, I should say that we've been doing this exercise for quite some time. And this team is almost like kind of B+ or A-, I would say. Usually actually the first level and the second level, third level, every level we used to see that kind of break. But here, it's somewhat actually, what is that? Impressive, I would say. What do you think, Michael or Ashna and Jonathan?
I just like the comment in the chat. That's from Ritesh, says that this is, in the local language, this is called mouth newspaper.
Oh, okay.
I see.
Okay, beautiful. Okay. So with that one, let's actually move on to the business here.
All right, let's get serious now. Oh, yes, this is important. This is the MVP spotlight. It appears that some of you, although many of you are engaged, some of you are more engaged than others. And it appears from, you've given away the surprise ball, too quickly, but it appears that, is that the actual list right there?
Yeah, that's right. They are the toppers. Yep.
So let's get a big round of applause for those 4 people who are the most engaged so far of everybody. Can we get some noise?
Wow, Jessica, 200, and that mind is filled with ideas, isn't it?
Submitted 8 ideas. Angela submitted 9 ideas. This is a lot of ideas. Tevin and Gabriella 3 and 2, but with very high engagement, which must mean that Tevin's been doing a lot of commenting and stuff on other ideas, I imagine, Bo?
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing. How many ideas have been submitted in total?
So we got close to 60 ideas now, which is phenomenal for a team size of 50. Especially when you just look at Jessica, Angela, and Tevin. So they are able to submit more than 3 ideas, 9 ideas, 8 ideas, right? So that's actually tremendous, I would say. Clearly, you guys are winning actually knocking the ball out of the park. Please keep them coming, and it's a super level of engagement. I'm sure that Suriname community, they should be able to handle all the great ideas that you're going to come up with. Let's see.
That is amazing. But you know what, Bala? I think we're going to challenge people today with the idea of divergence, because 8's pretty good. 8 and 9 is good, but today that's not enough, because I think you can see on the slide, right? Jessica, you got 8 ideas. That's great. But you see on the slide, the next thing is, can you create 50 ideas? Right? And not just 50 random ideas, but 50 ideas to solve one challenge. So in other words, divergence, we're going to look at what divergence and convergence mean now. But basically what it means, simple, is come up with a whole lot more ideas. No matter how many ideas you have, more. So let's have a look at what that means. I'll go ahead to so divergence simply means spreading out, right? Making something wider, or as it says here on this, expanding the playing field, right? Spreading out, making more ideas. And convergence is then narrowing down the ideas. The problem we have with creative thinking, this is a very important fact. We haven't discussed this, but there was a study done where 98% of 5-year-old children ranked as creative geniuses. Anybody want to guess what they found the number of grown-ups, adults, who rank as creative geniuses is? Just type in the chat your guess. 5% says Zipporah. Pretty good guess, by the way, Zipporah. Very low, says Ashna. Doesn't want to commit. Jonathan says 7. 24. So the answer is 2. All right. 2% of adults are still scoring as high in creativity as they were when they were 5 years old. Now that means in this room, we might have one person who's still a creative genius, and it's probably Bala. But the thing is that, why does this happen? One of the main reasons that it happens, we could go on and explain a lot of it, but one of the main reasons why this happens is that as we get into school deeper and deeper and into our jobs and so on, we start to try to make decisions before we even have ideas. We're all rushing, right? You guys have that experience? You're always rushing to solve things. So in the rush to solve things, the minute you get an idea that seems okay, you immediately try to use that idea. And therefore, those are 2 very different brain functions. They actually use different parts of your brain. So divergence thinking uses a different area of your brain and different processes than convergence thinking. But in modern society, as adults, we tend to try to do them at the same time. And that's making us kind of stupid. And that's why so many of us lose. It's one of the reasons why so many of us lose our creativity. So we don't want you to lose your creativity today. We want you to regain it. So we want you to really go through an exercise now where you diverge your thoughts without worrying about the convergence part yet, right? So divergence, again, just simply means coming up with as many ideas as you can. So how do we do that? Well, one is you just write down every idea you can think of, even stupid ideas, even ideas you think make no sense. Doesn't matter. Write down as many ideas as you can. So we're going to do that in a minute. We're going to actually say, we're going to find a challenge and then spend, I guess it's going to be 7 minutes, writing down as many ideas as you can. Don't make any judgments about them at all. Not a bit, right? Don't think, is this good or bad? What do I think of this? What do my friends say? Just come up with ideas, right? You can combine ideas is another trick to get more ideas, right? Let's say your idea is to have ice cream, and your other idea is to have pizza. Well, your third idea could be to have ice cream pizza, which is a terrible idea, right? I think everybody can agree ice cream pizza is a bad idea, but it's an idea. So we don't want you to, again, don't try to make decisions. Okay. Now, the final thing I want to point out to you, which is really, really useful. Has anybody here ever heard of the yes and technique?
Not familiar.
Ashni, you have?
Yeah, I think all programmers may know, because it's in programming, yes, if, else, or then, those things. So if you're in the IT area, any link, you might recognize it in that sense. And if, or stuff
Well, it's
like
a little different because it is purely yes and. There's no or, there's no but, there's no, right? It's all yes and. So what yes and is, it is a basic technique of improv. So when people, actors, do improv scenes with each other, they always operate from the yes and principle.
Yeah.
Okay. What that means is whatever the person says, the answer is yes. And that's why when you watch people doing acting together, you never see them reject an offer, what they call it, right? So if I say something to you, you don't come back with no or but, you come back with and. Now, I want to show you really briefly how this is done. And Ashna, since you said you understand, I'm going to try it with you, okay? So you say, just going to be like 2 minutes long, this can be very quick. I want you to see what I'm talking about, because this is one of the best ways to get your mind working around generating more ideas, is never say no to any idea in this divergence phase. Make sense?
Okay, let's go.
Ashna, let's say you say anything to me, just say anything.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask the question and I'm going to be yes and.
No, you say anything. I'm going to show you how this works. Say anything at all. Like, I want to go on holiday to Mallorca. It doesn't matter what you say.
So I'm supposed to ask you the question, or I'm supposed to tell you what I want?
You're supposed to tell me anything. Don't ask me a question. Tell me anything.
Okay. I want to travel to Australia.
Yes. And it would be really good to take Qantas Airways.
And I want to make a trip to Europe as well.
Yes. And there's a lot of Australians in Europe. So if you go to Australia first, you'll probably meet some people you could visit in Europe too.
And I want to get a new laptop and then sell it for some profit.
Yes, and you could use that profit to travel.
Awesome. Yeah.
So you get the point, right? I never disagree with what you're saying, always agreeing and adding to it. So this is a great way to do divergence thinking. Think of all the ideas you can, and when you can't think of more, add some together, combine stuff. just yes and yourself or your teammate or whatever it is. So let's show you how we're going to do this. Yeah.
Isn't there some kind of spoiling in it also?
Some kind of
spoiling, like like the expression "a spoiled child." Like Ashna mentions, she already had a laptop or a new laptop. Now she wants another laptop, and you say yes, and
yes, you see, that's exactly it. We are diverging ideas here, right? We are creating as many ideas as we can.
I would say, but you already have.
Yeah, but don't do what you just did. Don't do that.
I'll share with you something, if I may, Michael. When I was at the Michigan State University, I was taking creative thinking classes, and we had to like make 2 lists on any type of ideas. And then they would say, like, you connect both of the ideas, even if it didn't make any sense. Like, for example, I want a laptop, and I need to get the ice cream. So even sometimes it's linking 2 things that don't make any sense. And we want to do that because when we grow up, we kind of lose that part of the creativity. Yeah. Like, for example, a small child, when they start drawing, the sun or the tree might be like in all angles on the paper. The tree might be upside down, then they turn the paper and draw it like the house maybe on the other side. But as you grow up, you tend to give yourself a lot of rules that make you think like this is not logical or this cannot be because it doesn't make any sense. But the entire thing of creative thinking is actually thinking up ideas and linking them, even if they don't make sense, because it leads to some type of triggering of your brain to come up with the creative type of ideas. So this is kind of the thing why they make you do that. A lot of ideas, and then you link it. That's why it's always yes and, even when it doesn't make sense, even when I already have a laptop. That's why I use that example. I have a laptop, so it doesn't make sense to get one more, but still you connect and you say yes, because it tries to bring your brain back to when you're a child who's the genius creator, who doesn't look at the horizon when they're drawing. But when we start as adults, we always draw the sun and the clouds and everything upside and the other stuff downside. But try looking at a drawing of a 1 or a 2-year-old, it doesn't make sense. It's all over in the paper. And still the research says they're the genius creativity. Because we're already thinking of, she already has one, so it doesn't make sense, or how should I connect this idea? So this is kind of what it's leading to. You kind of lose the rationale and the logical thinking, because believe it or not, what the university told me and taught me, and Michigan State University is ranked top, it was that logic and creative thinking often don't even go together. Yeah. So I hope this kind of explained my example of wanting another laptop. And yes, it doesn't make sense, but you're just connecting ideas because that's what a 1 or a 2-year-old kid who's the genius in creativity does. And we as adults don't, because we limit ourselves by that thought of this doesn't make sense, or this is not supposed to be like that. And that shrinks our creativity. So this divergence is what's trying to trigger it again in you. So it might seem crazy, but this is how it works, and university use it. Believe me, I got it.
Perfect.
Well said, well said.
Well said. Okay, so this is a Paulo. Are they going to be choosing the challenge that they're going to work on today?
No, this is more like a guidelines, I would say. So suppose they're going to be working on an education part. The first step would be to go to the challenge and then trying to really interact with the challenge and engage with the challenge. Because the more and more you're understanding the challenge, what are the roadblocks, the impediments, then that's going to actually open up a lot of knots for you to come up with ideas. So always actually just start with the challenge, try to internalize, understand. That's what we are saying here.
Gotcha. And these are the questions that you'll be asking when you look at the challenge. Are we gonna show them how it looks on the platform now that the challenges
Yeah,
are
so
up there?
before that, let's actually just do a little bit of exercise here. This is what you're waiting, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so maybe, I don't know, you're going to ask them to, everyone can use the chat, okay? So can you explain the game?
yes, this is a fantastic one. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a bottle, any bottle, right? Oh no, it's disappearing because of my background. Take any bottle, like in the slide. And what could you do with this bottle besides drink water out of it, right? We're going to take 3 minutes, this case, only 3 minutes. You want to create the longest list of ideas you can. What can you do with an empty plastic bottle besides drink water from it? Don't bother putting that on the list. We know that, right? So I'm going to do this exercise too. Paul, are you going to do it too? I'm going to write
Yeah,
down
I'm going to do it too.
ideas.
Yeah.
So remember, the practice here is write down crazy things. It doesn't have to be the best idea. It could be the worst idea. Sometimes the worst idea is the best idea. Ready? Is everybody ready? You have your pens?
Just a
Everybody
minute.
ready?
Give me a chance to take a piece of paper.
No, you can use the chat, okay? Use the chat. That way you don't have to report it back.
Okay.
Yeah, you can use
No,
the
you
chat.
use the paper or anything else. If you're using the paper, then you have to share with
Type
us,
in the
okay?
chat
What are the
after, yeah.
ideas you've got? Yeah.
Ready?
Okay, time starts now.
Go.
Okay, time's up.
Oh my gosh. Now, if you didn't type in the chat and wrote it on paper, go ahead and type some of your answers in the chat if you haven't seen yours.
Oh my God, it is scrolling like anything, like a rocket. Okay, so people are just fired up like anything. This is
You got
so,
some
so
great
good.
ones in here. Use it as a cushion for my back, says Ashna. Before we even got
Do
started.
actually. This is like a actual application. Whenever I'm in a flight, I do put it between my back and the chair, and it supports it pretty well.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. So I'm just
Wow,
looking
this
at
is-
all the ideas. It's so wonderful. Okay, out of the box, and see, these are the kind of, what is that? Momentary thoughts, and without actually having any filters or judgment, whatever comes to your mind, just throw it out. Most of the time, that would be the novel idea. Wonderful idea.
Look
The
at all
moment
those
you
images.
start thinking about it, slowly you're going to be just bringing it down.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable how many ideas. Although I think my jail for fleas was a good one. Aquarium, piggy bank. Amazing stuff. Now, we want you to do the same kind of free thinking, right? This was fun and easy because you think, oh, it's silly, we can just think of everything. But do the same kind of free thinking with these serious challenges, these things that are really important to you, these things that are for the community growth and all the stuff that it's going to seem to your brain like, wow, this is so important, I can't take this lightly. Actually, you must take it lightly. We're in the idea generating phase. Later, when we get into the convergence, right? When we get into looking at plans and implementations and how to do things, we can worry about getting serious. But for now, keep it light and easy, just like this, right? Now, when we get to convergence, how do we know which ideas to actually select? That's the hard part. And that's what makes it so dangerous to do it too soon. Because you might have an idea that's very useful, but because of the way you see things or the way you're thinking at that moment, you might reject it. And it might have been the best idea to go with. So let's have a look at what can we do to make the decision. Well, a couple ways we can do it is to look at how much impact would this idea likely have. And on the other hand, how hard is it or easy to put it into place, right? So if an idea is going to have a lot of impact and it's pretty easy to do, that'd be more likely to do it, right? It's a good choice. If an idea is not that impactful and hard to do, it would be lower on the scale. Make sense? So when we do inside of the software, inside of Innovation Minds, you can actually go into each idea and rank how you think the impact would be. So 5 would be a very high impact, right? It would be like world changing. 1 would be like, not really so much. And the same with ease and difficulty of implementation. A 5 would be very difficult to implement. And a 1 would be like, kind of like just walking around the block. So when we put these together, the software will actually then calculate the balance of those two. And this is a great way to look at ideas, not just about do you like the idea or not, which is part of it, but also will it have an impact? Is it easy to do? So it helps to rank the ideas a bit more thoroughly this way. And so this is one way you can get rid of certain ideas. Just think, okay, it's a good idea, but my goodness, it's going to be very hard. Or it's going to be pretty easy, but not so exciting. What you want, obviously, ideas that are easy to do and have a big impact, which aren't easy to come up with. So let's show you how that works. Follow?
Yeah, sure. That's wonderful, Michael. So especially that exercise, water bottle exercise you did. I wasn't expecting these many ideas and the momentary thoughts. My God. So there itself, we are having the kind of golden draw, I would say, with so many ideas coming out there. It's wonderful. Okay, so let's actually get onto the platform here, and then we'll quickly show you how we can really get into this one. So when you just log in here, So do you see it every week when you're coming into the platform? So you're actually seeing a little different experience, but relevant to the exercise that you're doing. For example, when you first logged in, you're seeing the survey. It's the same platform, but you are actually presented with a community survey, and then it was easy for you to go and take that interview or log it in. And then last week, when you have logged into the platform, it was directly taking you to the challenges because we want you to really understand, internalize the challenge before coming up with the idea. But now, did you all notice that when I logged into the platform, directly I'm being taken to the ideas hub, because this is where now we are going to be focusing part of this particular journey, right? So we don't need that survey. We don't need the challenges at this point, but you can still go back and look into the challenges and then come back to the ideas. But for making it very easy for you, we do behind the screen all these kind of navigational changes so that you're not going to be wasting a whole lot of time. It's going to be easy for you to go and take care of why you're here, what you want to do. So with that one, you come to the idea hub, keep adding all the ideas that's coming to your mind relevant to your baseline idea, or it could be completely a different idea. For example, Timothy has actually given this health for life, right? Maybe he'll be able to use the radical brainstorming and then actually start adding more and more ideas. Or he can altogether come up with a different idea, not at all related to this one. It is up to you. Come up with as many as ideas that you will be able to using this submit your idea. We have already shown that to you. Now, once you're having all those things, go to this tab, My Ideas. I don't have any ideas in my name because we don't want to pollute or kind of screw up your environment. If you just go to your, click on this My Ideas, you'll be able to see only your ideas here. Let me pause. Any questions so far? You're all able to track, right? What we are saying?
I have a question, Bala, that I think some people might have. When you say my ideas, does that mean the ones that you created or any idea you've commented on or liked as well?
That's a good question, Michael. So My Ideas is going to show you all the ideas that you either submitted or actually you are part of the team members. For example, I may be submitting an idea, but I may say that I want to have Michael as a team member for building this idea, and then I put your name into the team members. Then that will become your idea too. So idea owners can see it. If you're part of an idea, if you're a team member, you can see it. Sometimes when we are assigning the mentors to the idea, even they will be able to see this idea within My Ideas. Whoever is having the association, whoever is having the contribution for the ideas, they will be able to see all the ideas within My Ideas. Any other questions? Now let me just go and show you, once you are done with this divergent thinking, radical brainstorming, adding more and more ideas, go to your idea here. And then when you just look into the right-hand side, you'll not be able to see all the completeness, but since I'm admin, I'm able to see it here. But let me just even show you a simple exercise of what you're going to see it here. So this way you don't have to notifications. This is exactly what you're going to see. Since I'm the super admin, I may be able to see little extra things, but here it is, okay, 69. Okay, so if I just go here, do you see it? All you're going to see is this impact score. So just go to your My Ideas and then actually select first idea, trying to review these things. You can actually do it yourself, or you may be able to bring in your friends, or you may be able to bring in some of your colleagues, or if you're studying in the high school or college, you may even pull in your lecturer, professors. Just tell them, because this is actually your bragging opportunity, right? Hey, I've been actually trying to solve this community problem and this is the idea. What do you think? Pull them in and make them as your cheerleader, ambassador. And then part of the process, you can also ask them, hey, for this idea, do you think how much effort on a scale of 1 to 5 it's going to take? You may ask, like, what does it mean, effort 1 to 5? Is it like 1 day versus 5 days, or it is actually 1 month versus 5 months? We typically actually ask the team to go for the 3 months for building any cycles. So within the 3 months, if you think like it is going to be taking like 1 month, maybe just go and actually put that effort as one, maybe like actually 2 or 3 here. You see this, right? It is up to you, okay? There is no hard and fast rule like how do you really define that 1 and 5? On a scale of 1 to 5, I'm thinking that for building this idea, my effort could be like 2. Or some idea could be like 4. Now the question is, okay, so I'm going to be actually spending like 4 weeks of my effort. What is going to be the impact on a scale of 1 to 5? It is going to be tremendous. So when you just go and do this one, do you see there is a resultant kind of score here? And as you can notice it, the more and more you're putting the impact as high and the less effort, the impact score is going to be high because it is actually going to be quick win. You're putting less effort, the impact you're creating is more. But on the other side,
On the impact score?
yeah, it's here. Is there any questions?
Yes, I can find the impact score.
Okay. Yeah, this is the one. So you see this one, right? So if I think like it is going to create tremendous impact, so I just put 5 and then it is very easy for me to go and build it. I put effort 1. You just go to your second idea. For the second idea, you think like, no, it is not going to create a whole lot of impact. At the same time, the effort that I'm going to take to build it, it is going to be higher. Do you see it, the difference? Earlier, actually, you are seeing somewhere around 25, but now 3. Then obviously what you're getting at it is here, the second idea is going to be really time consuming and also the value, return on investment is going to be less. So I'm going to be going with the first idea. So that is how actually the whole platform works. And not only you may be able to use this scale, but there are actually a few other scales and also tools that we are providing. But for the simplicity, please go with this one. Impact score is nothing but the quick win. The higher the impact score, it is going to be very easy to implement it. The value is going to be high. The lesser the score, effort is going to be so much, whereas impact is going to be less, and you don't want to kind of pursue or put all your efforts there. So that should be it actually from the way how you're going to be identifying your best ideas once you're able to come up with a 50 ideas using the radical brainstorming. Let me pause here. Any questions, team? The thing is, it's a little bit confusing because the effort, we are going to be taking it as it is, but the impact, we are going to be actually just doing it in the other way. Effort is more like inverse, impact is as it is. Questions, team? Are you able to follow?
Yes, I follow you. Good.
Okay.
Can you please repeat what you said last? In effort is inwards and impact is?
No, so what I'm saying here is when you just go to this one, if you just actually put that effort as 4, we are going to be taking that face value, but sorry, the impact is going to be the direct one. Effort, we are going to do that inverse, okay? The more effort, then it's not good for you, but more impact, it's good for you, right? So that is what actually effort we always consider as the inverse, whereas impact is always actually the right value, the positive side.
Maybe I can add something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so effort kind of means the amount of energy and the work you put into it, what it costs you. So that's why it's like inward, because it comes from all the time, the energy, all the effort, the work you put into it. That's why it's called like an inward something, because it comes from you. And the more effort you kind of put, it kind of means like, you know, you're working too hard. It shouldn't be too much of an effort. It kind of should be a little balanced. And impact is a little bit more like if you do something, then it creates an effect or impact, right? I think we understand impact a little bit more. What you do affects the things around you. So that's why it's kind of outward. but you don't need to kind of focus on inward or outward. As long as you understand that effort means the work I'm putting into it. Do I feel it's easy, you know, a 1 or a 0 even, or was it like so much energy and work that I need to say it was like 5? And the impact is when you're expecting it to have like a small influence or a big influence. I hope that helped clarify a little. Are there still questions on this part?
It appears that it did help clarify for at least one person. I think you were very clear there.
All right.
Rashna.
Yeah, so Bala is
Good.
really using like university lecture language. So I
No, I think
that they
Ashna,
use in the,
even actually you brought up a good point, right? So I
and I
was not
know,
actually thinking from inward
yeah,
outward, but I was talking about inwards and as well as the
yeah.
opposite, right? But
No, but
you're
not,
right, yeah.
yeah, but not to do the group because their English and I know their creativity is much more than what I have. It's just that, you know, sometimes you can need to make that switch to the
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
English thinking. And I mean, all my people here in the group, they speak like kind of 4 languages. So it's not the thing. It's just a little bit a language cultural thing sometimes.
Awesome, yeah. That is actually wonderful, Ashna, always actually having that additional context so that there won't be any confusion, right?
So
So
there's a
team,
question
let's
from
take one.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who is giving those scores? They need to give, where are they scoring or adding this, Bala? Is it on their question, or do they like rate it on each question, their own question, someone else's question?
I would say that always actually pick your own idea, the ideas that you have submitted. If you go to my ideas, you will see all your own ideas. Go to each and every one of the idea, click on it, and then actually you have to give your own impact score. So don't actually try to give the impact score for others' ideas. This is like your own exercise. Try to give the score for all your ideas. And then if you want to weigh in for others' ideas, what you have to do is, for example, this is the idea submitted by Ramatur. I can go and say that, hey, Ramatur, this is really good, wonderful. I'm going to be liking it. So just go and add the comment. See, the more and more others are liking your ideas, slowly your idea popularity score is going to be really, really high. So the impact score, we are asking the idea owners, the team members should come together, discuss it, and only they have to do it. But for others' ideas, we always encourage you to go and check out what Ramadur is working on, what Elizabeth is working on, what Andrew is working on. Try to actually just help each other, because sometimes they may have a blind spot. They may not have thought through certain things that you may be able to very quickly point out, hey, have you thought about it? So that is how we are going to be collectively progressing towards actually solving the community challenges. So never ever hold up. If I'm going to be giving feedback for others' idea, they are going to become the winners, but I'm going to be losing. Let's not talk about or think about it now, because end of the day, our philosophy is that everybody is the winner. It is just that actually the finale day could be yours or it could not be yours. So don't worry about encouraging others, helping each others. To answer your question, the impact score has to come from the individual who submitted the idea or the team members, whereas for others' ideas, you can always go and encourage them, cheerlead them, like add a
And they
comment.
can add still more ideas, right? Ballot's still open. Until when can they add ideas?
I think Jonathan is going to be covering that one. If I'm not mistaken, we are, Jonathan, we have actually up to Sunday night in COB, right? So what was the date? 15th, right?
So
yes, on the 15th.
All right. So before I can give, I'll give Jonathan the space. Maybe I can just add a little thing before we move on to the next section. Do I have a minute, Bala?
Please go ahead. I think unless there are any questions, yeah, we can just move on. Team, last question, last chance for you. Do you have any questions around this exercise that you're going to do this week, or any technical problems or platform issues? Please raise your hand. We are always going to be there to support you, but this is a great opportunity for you to get the real-time help, okay?
Yes, and the small thing that I wanted to add is the platform that you have gained access to is it's programmed and it's built in such a way that it uses your feedback to analyze using artificial intelligence to get actually certain results. So you can use it to get to know more about yourself, even like if you're submitting the ideas and you're weighting it with the effort and the impact, all of that will be calculated by the platform to give a certain result. And if you're engaging with ideas of others, you're liking them, you're giving a comment, maybe you're sharing your insight on, oh, I think this will not work because of this or something else, or someone else comments on your idea, that only helps you to think about the idea a little bit differently maybe, or consider feedback and then, adjust it. The platform is an idea development platform. So it's your ideas, but also other people's ideas. And the more you use and add your ideas yourself, you have more data that can be used by the platform to generate the result. And the second thing is that you can go on other people, their ideas, and give your feedback and comments. And this is the way how you kind of help each other develop your ideas using the platform, which also will use coding to generate and prepare some of the results we'll be looking at the end. So this is why we're using the platform and the functionality of it. I hope that I explained that correctly, Bala.
And I think actually you articulated
right.
really well. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Ashna. And maybe I think that is a good segue. Team, just a quick question. So you don't have to always stick to what you are being asked to do. This is a pretty powerful platform to get to know about yourself, get to know about your team. And think of it like this is actually the electronic playground or water cooler where you'll be able to meet with your friends and everyone. So if you just go to certain areas, for example, this is pretty much like your Facebook for this particular program. You may be able to see, oh, Angela is having an idea. So what I can do is, let me just check before I'm liking it. What's saving lives? Yeah, definitely. So I can go and like it. You know what I'm saying, right? I can even actually add the comment. It is pretty much like your Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, and then try to help each other, counsel each other and guide each other. The same way when you're actually going to this one homepage here. I don't know how many of you explored the homepage. When you just come to this one, you'll always be able to see what are all the best performers who are really kind of trending now. Jessica, again, actually you're showing up there. Wonderful job, Angela. And so this is actually more of my admin activity. So don't worry about this one. I think T. Morris and Elizabeth, keep up the good work. And then your aim has to be, I would say, as you can see here, do you see it? So last time, actually, we are having a lot of winners. For example, this is the first prize and this is the second prize, sidewalk, and then outreach, and also TikTok videos. So your focus, your actually primary aim is that when we are going to go for the next program, you should all be here in the Wall of Fame. So what it means is, it is not actually you're going to be receiving that awards and also the certificates from Ashna with the US Embassy commending all of you, and also those are all great feeling. But it's going to be just actually on that day and then on that week, right? But if you're able to make it to the Wall of Fame, the winners are going to be the heroes forever. So always actually just think about all the great things that you're going to be earning by coming up with the right ideas and then really taking it to the finish line for solving the community challenges. It is not only adding the value to the community or feeling good, but you're going to be really celebrated forever because you're going to be in the Wall of Fame. So go and check it out, and also try to go ahead and then share with us what is your mood on any given day. And there are also going to be some polls and other things. We will get onto that as we move on. Maybe next week, icebreaker, there is going to be an exercise related to the platform usage, and then get to know about yourself. It's more like you know about yourself, and then we will just go for the recognition and all those things. But in the meantime, please don't hold back. You don't have to just come and complete the assignment and then just move on. Look around and play around, and then actually see how you may be able to get the leverage and also benefit from interfacing and also working with these kind of platforms, and then better ourselves. So that should be it from the platform. So Michael, should we add anything else or can we just move on? I think
No,
I'm done.
I think let's just double check again. Does anybody have any questions about all this? All right, it's actually pretty straightforward what we're doing today. But it's important to, obviously people understand how to use the platform because they put up all these ideas.
Yeah.
But if anybody has any questions, please do not just go, oh no, nobody else has that question. Please don't let us leave tonight if you have a question that you need answered. So I'll go ahead and show them this while we're waiting to see if anybody has questions, but please really do ask if you need to know. Don't be shy.
I think, Michael, we are going to be covering the design thinking, which is going to be another wonderful session, right? So pretty much everything is going to be fun, but on its own way, I would say. So if you all go to that events, you can just see what is actually in store for you. So the next week we'll be covering the design thinking, and then we'll just go one by one. So with that, let's get back to the presentation here. Maybe Jonathan, do you want to take a minute, or can you just go and cover it for you? Okay, so it looks like Jonathan, are you on mute?
Oh, hi.
Okay.
Yes. So hello, everyone. So we will have our assignment. So as it is actually shown right there, we have to diverge with more ideas to your challenge, and we know what is meaning by divergence, and we try to expand all things, all of our ideas and put them together. Okay. And number 2, we'll have to converge and rate the ideas. All of the ideas we'll have to rate it. And 3, please, you have your suggested to meet with your teammates, your friends to finalize, and to fine tune all the top ideas that you have collectively put in together. The assignment will be sent via email, and I'll make sure that we'll have it also sent via WhatsApp too, so then we can all participate.
Awesome, beautiful. Okay, so there is actually one last thought we would like to leave you with. I know that when you're going to be working on your ideas, you're going to be pulling in your friends or maybe actually brothers or sisters. So when you do that, so there are certain things that we want to actually share with you, what you can do, what you may not be able to do it. So if you're having an appetite to go for a little bit of fun, so here you go. We're going to be sharing something here, okay? It's going to be informative and as well as it's going to be enjoyable, I would say.
All right, everyone. I want us to think big, okay? I want to just splatter ideas against a wall and see what they look like. Maybe it'll be a map of America, maybe it'll be Barack Obama's face. I'm not saying we need to get political, but let's be open to that. I've been thinking of something myself, and I'm just going to throw this out there. Social media.
Oh yeah, Facebook.
Got it.
Instagram.
Instagram, Snapchat.
Periscope.
Ping pong.
Oh, ping pong. I
Yeah,
love
ping pong. Because
The dark web.
What about an idea that I can eat?
Cupcakes.
Like a 3D printer for food ideas.
That would be a food D printer.
Someone write that down.
Yeah,
Everyone
I
write
wrote
that
all
down.
that down. Yeah.
Let's share the profits with charity.
Okay, no, never say something like that. There are no stupid ideas, but that's idiotic. And just let's be a warning to everyone, please don't have thoughts like that. And if you do, don't share them. Come on, guys. We're all smart, driven communications majors from Harvard between the ages of 28 and 32 who grew up in Scarsdale on the north side of Route 22. We can do this.
Actually, I'm 33.
Get the out.
Oh, he went out.
All right, guys, let's get this thing moving along. Whoever gives me the most ideas gets the next 3 Fridays off.
We got to utilize robots.
Robots that are friends with other robots.
Animal robots, that's another idea.
Robots on top of robots.
Brunch robot.
Robots that you have to fight to survive.
Invisible robots.
Small robots, tall robots, medium robots. Robots that are your friends, robots you can stick in your pockets. Hugging robots, laughing robots, sad robots, happy robots, fearful robots.
Robots that feel things for you so you don't have to feel things anymore.
I like that. I want to hear about feelings, but I want to hear about them faster.
Okay. Happiness,
we
sadness,
no longer feel
anger,
feelings. We just
apathy,
feel metal.
scared,
You feel like metal on the
fear.
inside.
How many ideas is that?
I haven't actually been writing down those ideas. I've been writing down top 10 ways to get rid of my beach body for fall.
Mother.
Okay, so team, what are your takeaways?
Rid of my
What
beach
can you
body
do?
for fall.
So that's actually a wonderful compilation of what can go wrong, okay, when you're going to be having that brainstorming with your friends. Anything actually stuck to your card? Team, just share your feedback. What is the highlight of the video? So which one really resonated with you? Thoughts? Good.
Take notes.
Take notes. Yeah, I think wonderful.
Yes,
I think,
take
yeah,
notes.
never ever forget taking notes. Okay. And also, there are many kind of moments out there that we may have to be conscious, especially you have to be inclusive and also you have to be constructive and just, I can just go on and on. So pretty much every one of the scene was meticulously kind of curated, and that was a great kind of reference for you all when you're going to be sitting with your friends for a brainstorming. It's not just for this idea. If you're going to be working on a project, if you're going to be working on any initiative, when you're going for a teamwork, just have some consciousness about all those things, and then you're going to do wonder. Okay, so with that one, we are pretty much coming to the end of the conversation here and then session. Is there anything else, Ashna or Jonathan, Michael, we want to cover, or maybe we'll just call it a day?
Well, I think, go ahead, Ashna.
Thanks. No, I don't have anything to add. I just wanted to say that I did share a link in the WhatsApp group for if people wanted to have a question forwarded to the sector specialist, or if they wanted to have a meeting set up. There's a Google form link which you can fill in with your contact details, so we know how to arrange that for you. Thanks.
Awesome.
Okay, so yes, everyone, just a reminder again. So we will be sending the assignment today, and the deadline will be on the 15th. It will be we'll have a lot of fun on this assignment. I promise on that. And Bala, when will be the next meeting?
Again, actually next week, Tuesday, the same time.
Tuesday, the same time, next
Same
week.
time, yep.
So
Wonderful.
just in closing, I think Mr. Morris has transcended us again. He's written a very beautiful closing for us. There are no dumb ideas. Everybody should be open-minded. All opinions should be respected. Right, right, right.
I totally agree.
Totally, yeah.
agree. Yes, yes.
I'm all in.
On that note, good night.
Beautiful. With that one, thank you all. See you next week.
Have a good night, everyone.
Take care all.
Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night.
Okay. So I think that should be it. Thank you all, and see you next week. And see you, Ashna and Jonathan and Michael.
Good night or
Take
good
care all.
afternoon. Or
Good
whatever.
night. Goodbye.
Bye.